That's never not weird.
What?
Okay.
What's not weird, Julie?
Don't do it.
It's too soon. I'm going to just call you. I'm like, what can I call you? Not Jesse. I'm going to call you Walter White. For all the Breaking Bad fans instead of Jesse.
That's so like 2015, Julie.
You're so
no.
He's so salty. So today we have a very special guest. So like, come on, Jesse, button up your shirt. We have a very special guest, Leslie Fear. She's an author like us, but she hosts her own show because I want to know. And I'm going to say you need to add, like, you're a producer of your show as well. And I am so excited to have you back on my show because I think you were a season 2, guest of the show. It must have been late season 1 or early season 2. And we are TikTok friends and texting friends. And we have a lot of friends in common, including Miss Molly Knows. So welcome to the show, Leslie. How are you?
I am great, Jennifer. And I got your name right after knowing you for years. What is wrong with me? Anyway, we got to quit doing that. It is. Thanks a lot, Jesse. Good job. Good job.
Sure thing, Lori.
Stop it. He's so bad.
No, I am so impressed with the people I've had on, including you, Julie. Kidding. I'm kidding, Jennifer. See, I need to quit. I need to stop being funny. Anyway, no, including you, Jennifer. And you know why? It's because, when I have all these different people on, I get all these different perspectives from every single angle. And your perspective and Jesse's perspective, if he talks about anything like we talk about today.
He does.
And I am so fascinated by it. And it also brings more listeners in there like, oh my gosh, I feel exactly the way Jennifer felt, or I feel exactly the way Jesse felt. And it opens people's eyes. And I love that we can all talk about it and learn and evolve and grow our souls. I know that sounds cliche, but it's just the truth.
I think it's beautiful. And Jesse doesn't even know any of, I think a lot of my listeners will know it, but actually it's been a while for them. And it reminds them to tap back into your show because you do get to talk to really cool people. Near-death experiencers, I always listen to those episodes twice. They just blow my mind.
Well, and they all say the same things, the same 3 core things. The other side is more real than here. They did not want to come back. And there's no religion on the other side.
Wow.
Every single time. I know. And I'm like, well, tell me why. How did you know that?
Yeah.
Like when I went there, when we got there, that, I had one near-death experiencer tell me, she goes, this is how I felt about life and earth and the whole thing once I realized I wasn't in my body.
Yeah.
She goes, you know how like when you go out and you garden and you're really hot and you're sweating, you take all your clothes off and you just put them in a pile and you get in the shower, you come out. The last thing you want to do is put those dirty, gross clothes back on. That's how you feel about your body. When you're up there looking down going, oh, it's of no consequence. I don't care if you just had a baby. I don't care if you just got married. I don't care. None of that matters.
It feels like heavy and just like a burdensome kind of thing, like a load.
It does. And it's so much more real, they say, there than it is here. Like we are just, I believe we are slivers of source, God, whatever. I'm not religious, so I say source mostly.
Yeah.
And we are slivers of source experiencing itself.
Yeah.
So we're all God. We're all source. You know what I mean? So we come here to be bad. We come here to be good. We come here to be serial killers. We come here to be priests. We come here to be good people that don't need religion. We come here to be bad people that have to have religion. It's just, it runs different sexes. It runs the gamut. We evolve our souls. We understand. And it's like, how did Jennifer feel about this? How did Jesse feel about this? I have a daughter named Jessie, so it's kind of crazy. But they want all of your experiences. They want to understand how you felt about it and your perspective. Like you were on a hike and you made a video about it. And you said it made your soul just soar, it relaxed you. It made you feel at peace with the world. And that is something that you experienced, that you added to the collective. I know I'm getting really woo-woo.
No, I love it.
But you added that to the collective, and that can only do good things.
Yeah. We need more of that, I think, because,
Yeah.
I'm going to say it, because if we're all slivers of source, that means that the orange chicken bucket is part of us.
Orange chicken bucket. I love it.
This is
No,
Jesse's invention, and it makes it feel so much less personal
it's
and
so much
more
less
like
personal.
what
Yeah.
kind of like I always think of my friend Karen Rontowski.
Yes.
Just think to myself, this is the most hilarious apocalypse ever. Like, good.
Well, no, and he is a sliver. He is a sliver of source. I mean, like my own dad. And Jesse, you don't know this, but I can communicate with my mother and my father who have both passed away. I have psychics on my podcast who said, just keep talking to them. And so I tried. First, it was with my mom. I tried and tried, couldn't get anything. And finally, I was like, Mom, if you're really there, what do you do all day? And
I love that you're asking her to account for her time on the other side.
She's human.
Mom, what's your schedule over there?
What's your schedule like?
Would you take coffee?
Yeah, right. And I hear,
okay, well, like, what was her schedule over there?
Well, I hear I'm a greeter. And I didn't know what that meant. That's how I knew it wasn't me talking. And I was like, what? I know. And then it was kind of an instant little download. I can't explain how I get it. It's just all of a sudden I knew what she was trying to tell me. She says, I help cross over people that maybe don't have a recent loved one who has passed, like children.
So she's like this friendly, familiar.
She's a friendly face. Because, we are eternal beings. So we kind of all know each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, and they recognize maybe her essence or her soul or whatever. I'm sure when they first passed, like any near-death experiencer that I've talked to, they actually see humans on the other side, even though that's just them presenting themselves, how they recognize them. So, and anyway, she said, I'm a greeter. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what? And now we can talk. Now I can ask her things. And she tells me a lot of certain things that, I ask, but there's some things she's like, listen, you came down here at this time for a reason. I am not going to spoil it for you, whether it's good or bad. You have to have that experience without my help, without anyone's help. I'll help you through it, but I'm not going to tell you what's going to happen. So she told me, she said, our orange chicken bucket, is that right?
Yeah.
Orange chicken bucket?
That's perfect.
Yeah. Our orange chicken bucket. He came here to do what he's doing. And my dad, who was a horrible person in life, now that I'm close to him, he came to do but he is an amazing soul on the other side. They're all amazing on the other side. They don't have that human, ego.
Okay. I have two questions, and I feel like it's like two things I want to ask simultaneous. First of all, would you say that you're closer to your mother now than you were even in life?
100%.
That is beautiful.
100%. Yeah.
Second of all, do you think you had a part in your father? Because you said he was not a good person on earth. That's the role he was playing here, but he's a beautiful soul. Did you have a role in the evolution of him? And I am like trying not to cry right now.
Oh, because I could talk to my mom first, I was talking to her and something came up. I guess my dad had passed away right after she did, maybe a couple of years. And my brother was the only one that stayed in contact with him. And I told Mom, I said, I guess he's up there. I guess you can talk to him. And she goes, why don't you try to talk to him? And I'm like, no. She goes, I thought you forgave him. I'm like, I did. She goes, just talk to him. She knows I probably didn't really forgive him. And I'm like, I don't want to talk to the SOB. And she goes, just talk to him. So finally one night I got brave. My husband was sleeping next to me and I was like, okay, Dad, it's your turn. Are you there? Are you there? Nothing. Didn't get anything for, I don't know how long, probably 5 attempts within about, a month or so. But finally I got, Dad, are you there? And I hear him say, yes, I'm in solitary confinement. And I'm like, what? He goes, that's the closest. And how he made me feel is that was the closest thing he could describe as to where he was. Mm-hmm. And I said, do you feel source? He goes, oh yeah, source is all around me. I'm doing this to myself. And I'm like, what? I mean, I'm like freaking out because I'm like, how am I getting this crap? And finally I said, well, I start kind of feeling sorry for him because he's like, yeah, I can hear people kind of moaning and groaning and screaming. And I'm like, that sounds terrible. And he goes, well, yeah, it's just where I am. And I said, well, like I said, I kind of felt sorry for him. And I said, well, is there something I can do believe it or not, actually, that was one of the first things I asked him. Is there something I can do? And he goes, the fact that you're talking to me right now will help me get out of here. He goes, I didn't think you'd ever try to contact me.
Oh my goodness.
And I know. It's so
this is emotional.
I know. I'm wiping my eyes.
Would you equate that, you think, to the concept of purgatory?
Maybe that's a Catholic kind of reference. So I don't really believe in the religious part of it. I think it's a self-induced, I'm still hanging on to my human. So I'm going to because he was in the light. He was still with Source. But Source says, if that's what you want to do to make yourself feel better, knock yourself out. Because I'm still getting to experience that too. What's it like to be in solitary confinement? How do you feel? How are you going to get yourself out? We're going to all learn together. You know?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, do you think, because if we come in, think about it. If you're a human soul, you die, you come into it with the constructs that you pull in from the other side. Like, so if you are Catholic, Jesse, I think that if like a person is Catholic, they're like, there's a heaven, there's a purgatory, and there's hell. And I can fight my way out of purgatory by doing certain things, whatever. Then that would be very real for them. That's my thought on it.
Sure.
Because that's their construct. It doesn't make it real or not real. It's been my journey to try to let go of some of those definitions or some of those constructs in my head. I'm not I wasn't even conscious of, and I'm trying to make them so that I'm conscious of them and go, I'm going to let that go, because I want the experience to be that it's wonderful. And I can go in with all the knowledge and information that my soul gathered in this life. And maybe I won't have to come back.
Right. And, people say, oh, I'm never coming back. Trust me, you're probably going to come back so many more times because, well, the thing is, we need the contrast. We're up there and it's bliss and we love it. Yeah. And then we're like, oh man, I really miss being physical. I miss tasting things. I miss touching people. I miss seeing certain things that I can't see here, feeling things, because everything's bliss, But it's funny you say that about purgatory, because I did have a near-death experiencer say on my podcast, she was a good Catholic girl. She had just lost her very best friend, a man that she'd known for years and years. And then she got sick right after him, and she was in the hospital, and they put her in an induced coma, but she also feels like she died during that time, because she said, I was a good Catholic girl and I went straight to hell. I'm like, what?
Oh my gosh.
So she feels like she was there like 2 years, because there's no time, as you guys know. There's no time on the other side.
No, there isn't. It's like an illusion. So she felt like she was there for 2 years.
Yeah. And finally, she gone through all those horrible things. She was telling me, describing all the things. I won't go into that. But finally, at one point, she started singing a Christmas carol, because it was supposedly Christmas on Earth. And she started singing her favorite Christmas carol. And she got out of that horrible space, went into another like realm light area, and saw the guy that was her best friend. And he smiled at her and he goes, see, it was all in your head.
Oh my goodness sakes.
Because she was so indoctrinated. I'm sorry to say that, but it's just the way
because
her experience was. Yeah.
I feel like that's this journey. Jesse, would you ever do that? Would you ever reach out to someone that had passed and see if I think about Leslie's relationship with her mom, and it's like, she was like, okay, I'm just going to try talking to her. And then it's a voice that's not you. That's how it's not you, right?
Because the words come and I'm like, I didn't think that. I wasn't thinking I'm a greeter. I didn't even know what that was.
I know.
Yeah.
I mean, and when I say purgatory, I'm talking about more of like a plane of existence state, not necessarily any dogma attached to the concept. No, I don't really. I haven't had to seek those people out. They find me.
Do they? And,
yeah.
But that means that, like, I think about us as human souls as like, everybody is psychic. I think everybody can be a medium. You do too, Leslie?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it's just a matter of, if you feel drained or exhausted, Jesse, right? You can just turn off the receiver, turn off the radios so that you don't have to receive it. Because being open all the time feels it's a drain. I've done that in the past because it was so exhilarating when I first started getting messages. I'm like, this is exhilarating, but then it kind of drains your energy. So if they're coming to you, you must be consenting on your higher level or something. I don't know.
I'll tell you what happened to me, and you two tell me what you think it means.
Yeah.
So when my father was in very bad shape, he had been in a coma for months, and it reached that point where you sit down with all the doctors and there's no activity, and this isn't going to turn around, and it's not
Yeah.
And so I went with my mother and my sister. We drove to the hospital because we were going to, I was, because they couldn't do it, but we were all on the same page. I was going to sign the papers to, okay, whatever happens. If it's time for him to pass on, he passes on, which was pretty heavy.
That would be such a heavy thing to do.
So we park in the parking garage connected to the hospital, and we're walking to the elevators, and my mom's phone rings. She looks down at it and then looks back up at me with this strange look on her face, and she answers, and it's my father.
What?
Yeah. So he had woken from his coma about a half hour before and remembered my mother's phone number, her cell phone number, and had the nurse call for him.
Wow.
Because he didn't know where he was.
Oh, that confusion. Oh my
yes.
God.
And he was awake for about a month.
He was?
Yeah. Yeah.
Was he, and then was he able to speak then during that time?
Oh, yeah, sure.
But he was still hospitalized.
Yeah. And I mean, they eventually had to put him back on a vent and stuff like that. But,
yeah.
So for him to have been totally, as far as all the doctors and stuff were telling us he was gone, but he was not gone. And he told me that he had been in Philadelphia living underneath a bridge.
What?
During the coma?
Yeah. And I was in the process of writing about a bridge in my novel.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So there you go. So when people tell me, who knows what happens when you're at the other side, and that's just one of my things, I'm just like, yeah, something else is.
It feels to me, I think that there's this genetic connection between us. And maybe, so then it's like a better phone line for an analogy. I don't know what else. Right. And so maybe he gathered that he was looking over your shoulder while he was in that plane, almost like astrally traveling and like reading over your shoulder what you were up to. And it made this new space where he could land. This is what I was in Philadelphia for some reason, living under a bridge. But then the other thing is when the family said to you, you need to be the one to sign that we take him off the machines. It's his time. He was like, wait a second, we're real here. I actually have some conversations I still want to have in the flesh with people. I got stuff I have to do. Maybe it's from a hospital room, but my feeling is that he's like, oh, you were about to make that decision and it clarified for me a decision. Have you guys ever gone? I swear it relates. Have you guys ever gone to, you have family around, you're like, what do you want to eat tonight? And everybody's like, I don't know. And then all you have to do is throw out spaghetti or burgers. And somebody's like, oh, I actually want Thai food. It clarifies your decision-making process, right? To be given a couple options. So I think that maybe your dad's soul heard that. He knew what you guys were going to do. And he's like, oh, wait a second, I'm going to make a choice. I want to stick around a little longer to have some conversations, which leads to my next question. I feel like he probably used the next month productively. Did he have some unresolved stuff or just kind of some conversations of even as simple as I love you. Maybe he didn't say I love you all that much or whatever. And maybe he fought for a few days to do that kind of thing.
I feel like it was more for my mom and my sister.
Wow.
They needed
Yeah.
the closure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Before. And he hadn't been able to, have those conversations with them before.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was, we were good. So, I think it was more for them.
Wow.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you just said it. So when people tell you in your life, well, I don't know what happens after we die, you already probably had a strong hunch, but it's like there is actual proof. Nobody can take that away from you. So now it's like you're stalwart, you're steadfast. This is my position because I lived it.
Yeah. And then like about 6 months later, like he contacted me through someone else.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, I mean, something's going on. I don't know what the exact process is, but it doesn't just stop.
Yeah. Well, what I understand too, what my mom kind of explained, she says, honey, when you sleep, because people are like, oh, I don't dream. I don't do. The body has to sleep. The mind has to sleep. Your spirit never does. Yeah. So your spirit can go anywhere it wants. I don't care if it's in a coma. I don't care if you're dreaming. I don't care if you are just under just anesthesia. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter because your spirit's like, yay, we can go do whatever we want, And that's when people can astral travel. That's when people can, of course, lucid dream, but they're really on the other side. So, we need the rest, but our spirits don't. So your dad absolutely watched
that makes sense. Yeah. That makes absolute sense. That's why some of us can't meditate.
No, because maybe I know you, Jesse, have had a little bit of.
Some of us can't turn that off.
We've had a little. You don't have to turn it on. It's still meditation.
I'm kidding with you, Julie.
I know you are.
Cool.
Shut up! Did you just? Jesse,
oh my gosh, that's going to be an ongoing joke. I'm so sorry, Jennifer, but no,
I'm
Jesse,
not. I'm going to get so much traction out of this.
Oh my gosh, do you have abilities? Like, are you a medium, or what would you classify yourself as? I am
told by people that I trust that I have a shamanic thing going on. I have no idea what any of that means. I literally was just on eBay last night ordering books about shamanism. So
is it kind of like a knowing? Like a shaman seem to have that wisdom about them
and curiosity.
I don't know if you can attach wisdom to me, but I get the weird signals from the universe, and to me, I think they're real and they mean something. But again, I don't know.
Well, have you guys noticed that, like, when you interview people like me, and you guys talk amongst yourselves, there is a soul knowing that this is correct.
Yeah.
All of this. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a lot of what we all have in common. I may tell you something you haven't heard of, and you may tell me something I haven't heard of. But when I hear it, I'm like, oh, I know that's right. And you don't know where you know that, but it's correct in your soul.
I trust Jen in things like this. Like if Jen comes to me and says, like, hey, Leslie's going to be on the podcast, and like she does this, and like I'm like, all right, if Jen if Jen is cool, then I'm cool too.
Yeah. Oh, I don't even question it.
You guys.
Oh no, you are. I mean,
okay, but it's like it's amazing. I'm standing in the company of pretty freaking amazing people. And
but if somebody came to me and they were like, hey, I do this and this and that, and Jim was like, I don't know, I'd be like, all right, yeah.
But then sometimes it's just I use
Jen as my meter. I use her as she's like my
I'm your Walmart greeter.
She's my woo meter.
your discernment. Yeah. I mean, because it's so funny that we talk about all these things, and a lot of people that I've talked to on my podcast that maybe aren't in this realm, because I interview other people like morticians and people that have been in prison because I try to spread awareness. But sometimes, but a lot of times they go woo too. And then I'm like, yeah, well, let me tell you what I know. And they're like, oh my gosh, that is so true. So it doesn't actually have to always be people that we all kind of align with. It can be people that you can spread awareness and go, okay, so this was your time in prison. And what did you have to eat? Because I'm so curious. And what was your daily routine and all that? How did you feel at night when it was just you, hopefully just you in one cell, not anybody else with you? Because that would be horrible. I would not want to have to share anything. And a lot of them say at night, it becomes a spiritual thing for me. And I escape my cell through a lot of them astral travel.
Oh,
gosh. They do. And a lot of them read books about it and then they do it. So they all I'm not saying all of them do. I'm just saying a couple that I've interviewed, they did the exact same thing. And I was blown away. And I was like, how is this possible?
Well, consider the chaos that somebody is thrown into that can get into that sort of trouble where they have to go to prison.
Yeah.
And your life is just like chaos, fast, chaos, fast.
Yeah.
They've never had they've never had the benefit of time to do any sort of reflection.
Right.
For the most part.
And they have to work on their imagination too. Yeah. And they have to work on that, oh my gosh, how do I get out of this? They may get a book or two or whatever, because they do, I think, give them books in certain prisons and stuff. They really, truly try to expand their spirituality. And a lot of them, one of them became a pastor, but he was a whole different kind of pastor than I've ever heard of. So he was more about spiritual pastoring, and they all loved it. So, but
how you got there is different, but how is it much different than like dedicating yourself to something like becoming a monk?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Such a good point.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're going to have lots of time to reflect and maybe even learn how to meditate because you got to let down time, but it's not guaranteed.
Well, I've heard people say like quantum physics is really just spirituality explained through science.
It is.
I think you have a fan club with that comment. That is so true. It hits.
It really does. And I'm like, it's true, because think about it. I understand physics. I am not a person that understands math by any stretch. I don't mean like I understand physics. I can put equations up. I'm just saying when they explain it to me, I'm like, oh yeah, that tracks. Yeah, I get that. And how the heck would I know that?
As soon as they hand me the piece of chalk or whatever and say, yeah, okay, do the math, then I'm out.
Yeah.
But as far as the concepts go, I'm all in.
Right.
Leslie, with all the people that you have brought on the show, was there ever a time, because you are such an open person to other people's experience, you're so deeply empathetic. Like I get emotional if right now talking about you.
Oh.
You're just a good soul. You're a good soul. You like expand yourself, and the way that you interview is second to none. But has there ever been anything that you're like, whoa, I think I hit a wall where they've gone too far? Can I accept this? I'm going to take this premise. I'm going to still be here in the interview. And then you kind of came out the other side, even during maybe audio edits. And you're like, I feel like I grew a bit where I didn't know I had a wall up or something. Has there been any moments like that?
There have, but then I also have it in my back. This is a good question, by the way. But I also have it in the back of the mind, just because that's not my reality and that's not what I experienced doesn't mean it's not right. Wow. So I have to go, because that
sounds mundane, but that's powerful.
It is, because you had that experience Jennifer, you had that experience in your video about how it just went past your soul. You loved watching that skydiver.
Yep.
or the glider.
Yes, it was. It was like I think it was like a little skydiver.
Yeah. And he had the little glider thing. Yeah. And it moved you in a whole different way that may not move other people. And it's the same kind of premise where just because I don't get the same kind doesn't mean I can't expand my soul and my evolution of it and go, wow, let me join you in your experience in that and tell you, I get why you thought that was cool. I get why you think that was incredible. But some people, I understand. Some people, I did have somebody on the podcast that was talking about chemtrails, and I took it out because that's just caca to me.
Yeah.
chemtrails over the country club.
Yeah, I can't. But she had other beautiful things, but I did take that out because I do not want anyone thinking that I would ever think that was something that was real in my discernment. I'm not saying
I've taken a few things out too in my past where it's like, you know what? I don't know if they know how this could land on somebody else's ears. And I don't want to be in that space. Like, I didn't want it to be awkward. I mean, and so I just pulled it out. And sometimes I would email Jessie, and Jessie's like, listen to your instinct. You do what feels right. And then I would do it. And I felt so good.
Yeah. But a lot of times they don't remember what they tell you.
Yeah.
So,
you're right about that. There's amnesia.
They're like, I don't remember what I told you, but I know I had fun.
Well, I mean, honestly, not to be disrespectful to the guests or anything, but like, if they need to talk, if they need to see the manager, come see me.
Exactly. It's y'all's show. And it's the same thing with, people that think the earth is flat. I can't let people think that I'm interviewing you because I agree with you. Then I'm associated with that.
I feel like that delves into like silly conspiracy theory.
Oh yeah.
Out of the, I realize all of this stuff is supposedly kind of in the same jar, but it's really not.
No, it isn't. I
mean, if you're convinced that the earth is flat, first off, I don't really think we're going to have a conversation in the first place.
Right.
I mean, but if you just happen to slip that in, it's probably going to get edited out because I'm going to be like, people are going to think that I think the earth is flat.
No, I know. And then the flat earthers, they went on this expedition. I always think of Winnie the Pooh when I go expedition, right? Because Winnie the Pooh reference when you have kids that are all grown up. But they went with this group to see the actual sun setting in Antarctica or something. And they were like still not believing that the earth is anything but flat. I mean,
can you imagine spending that amount of time and money?
On curing cancer, baby.
And then they're gonna just like hold on to it,
Well,
that's not even ignorance. That is like that's just like I'm 5 and I'm crossing my arms, and
it's like the orange chicken bucket voters. They can't admit that they're wrong. They can't admit that they're wrong. They can't, and they won't. I don't care.
Literally just going to say that.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what you tell them, because I asked my husband, I'm like, what? They're exhausting me. What is going on? And he's like, honey, they just can't be wrong. I don't care if he does everything that it gets to exactly what they voted for, all the things.
Honestly, sort of reality has gotten so ridiculous to me that I don't even pay attention to it anymore.
Yeah, I think that's really nice.
I'm to the point where I feel like I'm wasting my time.
Yeah.
Sitting in the wind.
Because I'm like, okay, whatever you think, whichever team you're on or whatever, like nobody's going to convince anyone else if you're that hardcore. It's all a cult. On both sides,
mindset,
that extreme, and like it's literally just a waste of time. I don't even listen to political podcasts anymore because I'm just like, okay,
that's huge because that was taxing your soul.
Yeah, I know. It was, which is why I had to stop doing it.
I had to stop watching the news. I mean, I know what's going on. I get bullet points from Aaron Parnas or whoever comes on my feed, Midas Touch or whatever. But then I'm out, and my husband's like, he can watch the news, and he's my little Cancer, whatever he is. I don't know what his rising sign is, but I'd have to look his time. But anyway, he is the most down to earth, doesn't believe in any of the crap we're talking about, but supports the crap out of me. And he's just the best human. He volunteers at a dog shelter. He used to drive for Meals on Wheels. He doesn't have to be a good human and be religious. He's just a good freaking human. Yeah. And I have to tell you guys, and I may get some flack for this, I blame religion for a lot of this crap with the orange chicken bucket.
I blame religion for a lot of things because the institution itself is so toxic. I mean, fill in the blank, misogyny, power structure, the spiritual gatekeeping. I mean, don't get me on an apple crate, because it's like this whole, when you make a profit by being the middleman between the seeker and the universe, the energy, God, goddess, whatever they want to call it. It's like, and you position yourself as a middleman and you take the coins on the river Styx. It's like, that is just wrong.
Yes.
I found it kind of interesting though, because I'm not religious. I'm spiritual, highly spiritual. I'm very connected to my spirit guides and my angels, but I've been really loving the tweets of our Pope right now. He's like,
he's amazing. But that goes to say, there are some religious people like James Tallarico in Texas. I'm in Texas, who is a pastor and a Democrat and says amazing things to where I want to cry. It almost makes me want to go to church, and I would never do that because I don't want to go to church. I'm just saying.
Is he like very pro-human and
he's
compassion?
pro take care of the sick, take care of the homeless, take care of, doesn't matter if you're gay, doesn't matter if you're black, it doesn't matter. None of that. He's the most amazing person who's going against the most corrupt guy, of course, we have in Texas. Yeah. And I hope he wins, because we're religious enough to where I hope that would be the reason, which is kind of sad, but that we have to even have that conversation involved in politics, but we do. Yeah. So, I went to politics. I mean, I'm sorry.
Look, it's designed to keep us divided and not having dialogue and discussion with each other.
Yeah.
And that way that, and while we're busy arguing with each other, they're robbing us blind.
Yeah.
And taking everything else out the back door while we're not paying attention.
Yeah.
That's what I think about it. You know what I mean? And not saying that like both sides are, the same or any of that.
I think that there's some corrupt stuff on the other side too. But my mom told me this had to happen. And even the astrology says that, even if Kamala had won. This would have happened. The astrology is very potent for all of this to happen.
There's a larger issue with how we're being manipulated with social media and things like that. And I mean, I hate to sound like a broken record like everybody else, but billionaires aren't helping us right now. No, they're harming us. Okay.
Oh, absolutely. I totally agree. And I don't even really think
they're suck on society.
I think it should be illegal to be a billionaire. I know that's a little far left, but that's how I feel. Because you're hoarding all the money you can't spend in a lifetime. You can't even spend that kind of money.
And their mindset, we make fun of, and I'm not, Jesse, I'm trying not to say the name because I feel like we took a break from calling him out, but he and his new wife have this routine that went viral.
Dude, everybody immediately knows who you're talking about.
I know, but they have, let's do a meditation together and yoga on our bajillion-dollar estate. And then we're going to write in our happiness and gratitude journal. And it's like, oh my God, you're so checked out with the actual state of the world and the people working for your company that are having to pee in bottles because they can't take a break to use the bathroom.
Yeah.
They don't have any clue what the average American's life is like.
No, they don't.
They have concierge healthcare. They never wait in the TSA line. They never go to the grocery store. It doesn't matter to them what anything costs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, why would you let these people be in charge of your livelihood?
Yeah. I missed that actually. Do you guys remember because maybe I'm dating myself, but remember when politicians actually would get the gotcha question during debates of how much is a gallon of milk? How much is a loaf of bread? How much is a gallon of gasoline? Mm-hmm. And it was a big gotcha because you would get people that were so clueless about the struggle of every person out there that's going to vote for them when they had literally no clue what the costs were.
I don't think that's relevant anymore because they just have an intern keep up with stuff, constantly on their phone. Hey, milk just went up 4 cents,
But guys,
AI bot told me that. What?
Guys, every single one of either side, every single politician, every single person on this planet, we are here to witness, and it's really kind of an exciting time right now.
Yeah.
We're here to witness the downfall of the United States because it usually happens. The big, every 250 years, a big empire usually falls. That's just how astrology works from what I understand with all the astrologers I interview. And
Wow.
it's just what happens every 250 years. Pluto's return is when that happens. It's the fall of Rome, the fall. And then we also had this when wars come every 84 years, it was the, American Revolution, then it was a Civil War, then it was World War II. I mean, all of these wars were about the same exact time where the planets are now. So it was going to happen. But this is a really exciting time because we are witnessing something that a lot of people don't get to witness. They don't get to witness the entire rebranding of their country and or world, because this isn't just affecting us. It's affecting us globally.
Yeah, it sure is.
And
and I think that I keep making jokes with Jesse of like, I think we killed AI. Like, I think our conversations about AI have changed the zeitgeist. It's been so fun to do shows and then 2 months later, see people really caring about the data centers and the impact on Mother Earth. And how it relates is that I really feel like the AI bubble is gonna pop. It's just a matter of who has the needle that's gonna poke it to the point where they can't salvage it. And our entire economy, the way that companies are refusing to hire human beings and they've been replacing them with AI, and it's an abject failure. It is going to pop, and it's going to be so dramatic that alone is going to be an economic, the iceberg that just flips over. And we all go, wow, that was dramatic. Yeah. Everybody was talking about the polar shift. There's going to be a polar shift and all that about a year and a half ago. And I'm like, I think the polar shift is actually the civilization is going to flip flop. It's not like our magnetic fields on North and South poles. I literally think it's going to be the upheaval of AI. It's going to be really dramatic. And because they keep trying to prop it up, and it's inevitable. We listen to one of our we love futurism. Victor Tangeman is one of our favorite journalists of all time. But then there's Ed Zitron, who does Better Offline, and he tracks the bags of money, and it's all fake. It's like it's like a shell game. They just pretend that, okay, OpenAI just got $1 billion worth of funding, and then they hand the bag to so and such, who hands bag to so and such, just to make each other look like they're actually bringing in revenue. So it's been kind of interesting because I didn't realize how fast it was going to work, but they switched to this token-based purchasing. And so everybody's seeing how much it actually costs to use the AI, and they're shocked. Like, there is going to be on somebody's tax bill, because they're going to try to write it off, $500 million. They spent $500 million accidentally last week. And it's going to be so interesting because it's a publicly held company, a member of that publicly held company, and we will find out who that company is. I suspect it's Microsoft, but I don't know.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that is part of this 250-year kind of like overthrow.
Downfall. The fall. Because we have 400 data centers in Texas alone.
There's there's a map. Aaron Brockovich just put up an interactive map. Shows
the
you
data centers?
all of them. Yeah. I sent it to you.
You did.
Jen.
Yeah.
She's doing good work.
And we're on our own grid here in Texas, because of course we are, because what the heck are stupid. Yes. And, we had a hard time keeping up with just the amount of people that live here, let alone 400 data centers, and they're wanting more. I'm like, how fast do I need to be able to Google something to get an answer? I don't need to be. No. We're good. Stop with this nonsense. We're done.
That's exactly right.
It's going to stop.
Yeah, it is. It is already stopping.
It's not because they want it to stop, but it's going to stop.
Yeah. It's already stopping. And that's why I love Erin Brockovich going out with this, because she's showing that they're lying about the data centers that are completed.
I'm so
never
shocked.
Going to be completed. I know that they're lying.
Yeah, there's a couple of them that they only, like, the only pictures they have of them are like a couple of dudes like working, and there's like a couple of girders up, and like that's And they're counting that as it's under construction,
Right.
but like it's not.
Leslie, did you follow the young women that were out of Utah that were fighting that Shark Tank guy, Kevin, what's his name?
Kevin O'Leary or something.
Yes, about the data center. And he was like, they're Chinese agents. I can't believe this. And they're just like, hello, Kevin. We're not. We're just Utah girls that were kind of pissed about.
Yes.
We don't want this happening to our state.
And he's from Canada. If you want one, get one in Canada. Why are you doing it here?
They won't let him. That's why he's here fucking around.
Okay. Yeah. But you know what? This is what I asked my mom, because one thing she does tell me certain things. And I said, Mom, because I'm, it's the orange chicken bucket kills me. Okay. I
know he
every
does.
day it's so hard for me to even look at him, let alone listen to him.
That's why I love your TikToks where you're just making fun of him. You're like,
and they
10 horror movies.
Don't even go to the comments.
Go in poopy
there's
diapers.
So much AI bot on those. But anyway, I know it's so bad. And I said, Mom, tell me this isn't going to last very long. And she said, and she said it like this, honey, it's going to be over quicker than you think. It's going to get a little worse before it gets better, but we're already rock bottom. You're used to it, so don't worry about it.
Ooh.
But it's going to end quicker than you think. And I said, well, what about all the other nations that are making fun of us, that hate us? And blah, blah. She goes, you got to quit thinking that way, because guess what? They know it's this administration. They know it's not the people. They know it's this administration. She said, when you have somebody that's a freaking grown up that will be in the White House with the grown up administration, things will be not maybe right back to where they were, but they're actually going to get better, because we will have we have everything to prove now. We will have to be so transparent in everything we do, and we'll have to have the leadership that can have the balls to do that.
And I don't think it's all going to snap back into place.
No. She didn't say it like, she just said this administration will not be much longer. That'll be over before you know it.
It's going to be a situation. We've lost trust with a lot of people, and
it's going to take years for that.
Other countries, as far as diplomatic relations and how they source things and where they have things manufactured, they have been forced to redo all of that because of things like the tariffs, which are whatever you believe,
ridiculous,
are literally the dumbest thing imaginable. And it's just a way for them to manipulate the markets.
Going to war when we had the straight open and a really good deal with them. And
just a way to manipulate the markets.
So. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
They don't care about any of that. All they care about is like, we're gonna be able to play the stock market.
Yeah, accumulation of power,
poly market, and all that.
Yeah, let me buy an island in Albania and
people
piss
are
them
pay
off.
us off to do stuff like by giving us Bitcoin. The whole thing is just one big grift. But in the process of doing that with the tariffs, we had the world has had to go, okay, well, I don't get stuff from here anymore. We don't trade this here with them anymore. So now, who are they turning to? Hi, China. Hi.
Oh yeah.
Hello. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh
so,
yeah. And it's going to take a while.
That's a thing that's not going to just like magically revert back.
Right.
No, it's going to be a process, but
it's been like billions of dollars poured into it to like redirect and redivert and redo all of this.
Yeah.
It reminds me of when my kids used to have the puke flu, and I'm like, better out than in. Better out than in. Just let it out.
And guys, this had to happen. I mean, that's the unfortunate thing, but the good thing. We would not have escaped this. I don't care if Kamala would have come in the office. Something would have happened. I don't know. It would have been a completely different situation. I couldn't explain how.
Right.
Maybe a little bit nicer and better way.
You're right. I mean, we've been heading this direction for at least 50 years, if not more.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah. And I blame Reagan, but don't even get me started on him. But anyway.
I love that we were so opposite with our conversation. Normally we go to like 2D like life things, and then we go woo, and we like literally did the opposite.
Back to politics.
We went from woo to politics.
I'm gonna pivot back to woo before give your scoop of where listeners can give you love and find you. But I was telling Jesse off mic before you joined the Zoom that I had this dream last night, and I normally go live and do my angel card live. And I was so emotional about this dream that I couldn't, because I couldn't stop crying for like the first 45 minutes that I was awake over. And it was a good kind of crying, but it was like, I couldn't do it. So this man, he was in the dream. I was in this man's house. It was overpacked. It just felt claustrophobic, overpacked, kind of dark. And he kept going. The thing he kept saying over and over was, I want to feel unburdened. I want to feel unburdened. He just kept saying over and over. His body was wasting away. I got the message that it was cancer. He was like my age, like 56, 57, and he was dying, but his wish was to feel unburdened. And I realized as I looked around the clutter of his house, it was all was a white man, but all of his statues and things were like these Buddhist statues that were like almost reached the ceiling, and they were just like clutter, because he thought that would be a path to God or a path to being unburdened. And it was really just kind of claustrophobic. So I grabbed his hand, I touched his hand, and I led him out of the house, and I brought him over to my yard. And it was kind of like my yard in Colorado, where it's like this big plain of grass. And I gave him a bag of seeds, like seeds and nuts were in it. And he just started throwing them out like handful by handful to the squirrels, to all the birds. And the birds were waiting for it on the roof eave. And he was just like smiling. And then this woman who was about half his age, like maybe in her early 20s, 25 or so, I never saw the front of her, but she was beautiful with this blonde hair, and she was very fit, and she had her halter top and some shorts on. So it was like a different time, almost like the 70s or early 80s style. And she joined him, and they were like spreading these seeds around, and he was just laughing and smiling. And then I woke up and I realized, I think that he was someone I crossed over, but I think that the young woman was part of why he felt so burdened or guilty about this life that he lived here on the earthly plane, and was making him hesitant to let himself pass away.
Wow.
It was very interesting. And when I realized it, so then when I started saying, I hope that helped you, and it was really an honor to know you. And I every morning do throw seeds out to the squirrels and the rabbits and the everything, all the birds and everything. I was on my hike afterwards, and I was just thinking about him, and it just felt free. It felt like that TikTok that I just put up this morning before I went on my hike, of like this person in a paraglider just soaring and feeling untethered and unburdened. And it was interesting to me because the card that I got, the angel I got, was Khalil or something. I'm sure I'm saying it wrong. And it was basically, the message was to stop trying to have a conflict and let go, so that a truth can be revealed. And I thought, that's interesting.
That tracks. But you know what's so amazing about this, Jennifer, is what I think is amazing is that these people find you when you're sleeping.
I know.
Seriously, because it's so fascinating, because the thing is, I think because you're sleeping, your spirit's like, who can I help? I'm the beacon. Come to me. I'm the lighthouse. Come on over. And so they find you, even if it's just one at a time. Maybe they stand in line and you don't know. Maybe they're all waiting and just waiting for their next number. Okay, it's your turn. Jennifer's available. She's asleep again. But it's just amazing that you can do this for people, because listen, we are all connected.
We're all connected.
We are all connected. And, what I tell my listeners, I say, guys, rub your hands together like, you put your hands like you're praying, but rub them together, get that heat going. Then make your hands into a ball like you're holding the earth. And then send out peace, love, unity, respect, and then swish it out. And do that at least once a day. The ripple effect that gives to just that good intention out is so incredibly important. My mom still tells me, do it as much as you can. Do it 10 times a day, one time a week, whenever you feel like it, do it. And just think unity, love, respect, all those things, anything you can think of, any word, any, adjective or whatever that you can think of, and then just swish it out into the universe. And I usually do it north, south, east, and west, or just once, just everywhere. There's a reason we had that World Prayer Day. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
That was the same thought. It's the same thought. And I'm telling you, it changes more than you think, and it affects more than you think. And all we can do now, because you guys have this podcast. You can spread awareness on your podcast. You're doing what your life path is telling you to do. I can only do my podcast and try to spread awareness on my podcast as well about the other side. And you don't have to be afraid to die. And hey, here's some other things you can look forward to, and here's some astrologers and blah blah. But my thing is, if you don't, the fact that we can do things, but some people feel like, well, what's my purpose? This is your purpose. Yeah. Spread that love, spread that unity, spread the respect to everyone. I don't care who it is. Yeah. I don't wish death on anyone. I don't wish bad things on anyone. I really don't. I may kid a little bit about it, but I don't. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, everybody's here for a reason. Everybody is here for a divine purpose.
Yeah, you're right. And it's, I think that's a perfect way to end our conversation, because I literally did it as you explained that prayer. Meditate. It's like a mini meditation.
It is.
And there's no better way to end it than that, except for where are listeners going to find you to send you the lovin's and connect with you and your podcast and your books.
Okay. So my podcast is called Because I Want to Know, WANNA, Because I Want to Know. And it's on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. You can look up my name, Leslie Fear, or just the name of the podcast. I'm sure Jennifer will put the information in the show notes. And then I write paranormal romance novels, and I've got 7 available on Amazon. They're all bestsellers. 2 of them I wrote with a co-author, and 5 of them I wrote myself. And like I said, they're all available, and they're either ebook or paperback. And they're not crazy expensive, but if you want a little ebook to take to the beach, or you want a little paperback to give as a gift, they're great gifts, and they're fast reads. And I loved writing, and people were like, "You're going to write again?" I don't know if I'm going to start writing again right now, but I'm looking maybe to do it in the next couple of years.
Oh, now I'm rubbing my hands together in expectation of that.
Well, I did like 12 years of it. So now I'm like, okay, I'm podcasting now because it's so much fun. And I don't have to go through an editor and go back. And you guys know, you guys are authors.
Yeah, we know.
We do. Well, you're welcome here anytime, Leslie. And if you do start writing again, you got to come on, because we'll promote you as well.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you guys so much. It's so fun to just talk to my people.
I know, that's how I feel too. Lots of love to you, and love to every listener for tuning in.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for coming on.
Thanks for coming on.
Hey, you. Yes, you. Are you looking for a new podcast that appeals to your scientific curiosity, but is also a little bit spooky?
Show me how I died in a past life.
Well, look no further, because this cat is where it's at.
He had concerns about the ethics surrounding AI, feeling they had achieved consciousness.
Curious Cat Podcast examines the shadowy space where science and the supernatural collide. Listen every week with your host, Jennifer Holtz, as she and her guests explore what it means to be a soul in a meat suit.
We were healing karma together. They were all kind of predestined to resolve something.
Listen on all your favorite streaming apps, and continue the conversation on Twitter at CuriousCatPodCA, or find Jennifer and all her links at Jennifer L. Holtz, spelled HOTES.com.